Right now, as you listen to this, money is leaking out of your bank account. Not in some dramatic, obvious way, quietly. A direct debit here, a contactless tap there, a monthly payment you set up so long ago, you have honestly forgotten it exists. Here is the uncomfortable truth. In 2019, a lot of these habits made perfect sense. They were affordable, they were normal, but this is 2026. And the maths has fundamentally changed underneath your feet. The things that were sensible 6 years ago are now silently breaking your budget. So today, we are running a value audit. 5 things that British households are still paying for out of pure habit. 5 things that are simply no longer worth your money. And by the end of this, I promise you will look at your own bank statement very differently. First, let us set the scene, because context is everything. The Bank of England has been holding the base rate at 3.75%. Now that is down from the brutal peak of 5.25%. But make no mistake, this is not the cheap money world of the 2010s. Borrowing is still expensive, and it is staying expensive. At the same time, your council tax has surged. The average Band D bill in England has now climbed to around £2,392 a year. That is a rise of roughly £111 in a single year. And then there is the quiet killer, fiscal drag. The Chancellor has frozen the income tax thresholds. Your wages drift up with inflation, but the thresholds do not move. So you slide into higher tax bands without ever receiving a real pay rise. The squeezed middle is being squeezed from every single direction at once, which is exactly why the small leaks now matter more than ever. So let us plug them. Number 1, new car finance, PCP and HP. For years the dream was simple, a shiny new car for a low monthly payment. But here is what 7% interest rates have done to that dream. They have quietly killed it. Picture it. You are paying £500 a month on a brand new car. That is £6,000 a year flowing out of your account into an asset that is losing value every single morning you wake up. A new car can shed a huge chunk of its worth the moment you drive it off the forecourt. This is what we call the shiny anchor. It looks like success. It feels like an upgrade, but it is quietly dragging your entire financial life downwards. Now contrast that with a 3-year-old pre-owned version of the exact same car. Somebody else has already absorbed that brutal first-year depreciation for you. Same wheels, same journeys, a fraction of the cost. The new car is not buying you transport, it is buying you a feeling. And right now, that feeling is the most expensive thing on your driveway. Number 2, the premium grocery baseline. There is nothing wrong with a treat from Waitrose or Marks & Spencer. The problem begins when premium quietly becomes your default. When the everyday essentials, the milk, the pasta, the humble tin of beans, all come from the most expensive shop in town. Blind taste tests have shown, again and again, that the Aldi and Lidl versions of these staples are frequently just as good, sometimes better. What you are really paying for is the brand tax, the logo, the status of the carrier bag. And here is the deeper cost. Every pound you spend on status-based shopping reduces what I call your financial bandwidth, the breathing room you have left to make bigger, smarter decisions. Status at the checkout is the most forgettable status there is. Nobody remembers your shopping, but your bank account remembers every single trip. Number 3, the daily high street habit. This is the silent assassin of the British budget, the meal deal and the coffee. Individually, it feels completely harmless. £10 a day, the price of simply being a functioning adult, right? But let us do the maths that the high street really does not want you to do. £10 a day across a working year comes to roughly £2,600. Sit with that number for a moment. £2,600. That is a luxury holiday. That is a serious contribution to your ISA. That is the entire foundation of an emergency fund. You are not buying lunch. You are quietly trading away your future holidays, one meal deal at a time. The habit is invisible. The cost is enormous. Number 4, traditional TV and the streaming stack. Remember when streaming was going to save us all money? One subscription, all the shows, no more expensive bundles. And then it fragmented. Now the good shows are scattered across half a dozen different services, and somehow you are subscribed to most of them. Add a legacy Sky bundle on top of that, and many households are quietly bleeding around £100 a month on television, often without watching even half of what they are paying for. This is subscription fatigue, and it thrives on exactly one thing: you forgetting. The direct debits are small enough to ignore and numerous enough to lose track of. Open your banking app tonight and actually list them out. I promise you will find at least one you had completely forgotten you were even paying for. Number 5, and this one stings, the ghost gym membership. Here is a genuinely staggering figure. British adults are estimated to waste over £503 million a year on gym memberships they simply do not use. The average membership now runs to about £48.45 a month. And by March, more than a quarter of all New Year joiners have already stopped going. Roughly 2/3 of every membership goes largely unused. But the cleverest part of the whole model is psychological. It is the guilt tax. You keep paying, not because you go, but because cancelling feels like admitting you have given up. So the membership quietly becomes a monthly fee for feeling bad about yourself. And then there is the final hurdle, the 30-day cancellation notice, designed to make leaving just inconvenient enough that you put it off for another month, and then another. Now, here is why all of this matters far more than the pounds themselves. It is called decision fatigue. Every one of these tiny, leaking commitments occupies a small piece of your mental energy. 5 little leaks do not just drain your account. They drain your attention. And when your mind is cluttered with a dozen small, low-value decisions, you have far less clarity left for the big, life-changing ones. The pension, the investment, the career move, the house. The wealthy are not necessarily smarter than you. Very often, they have simply removed the noise. They have plugged the small leaks so they can focus all their energy on the big wins. So this is the shift I want you to make, starting today. Stop thinking of yourself as a passive consumer, someone things are sold to. Start thinking of yourself as a strategic capital protector, someone who guards their money with genuine intention. Every direct debit now has to earn its place. Every habit has to justify itself. You are not depriving yourself. You are deciding, on purpose, where your money actually goes. Because here is the final lesson, the lesson of the gap. Wealth in this country is rarely built by the size of your salary. It is built in the gap, the margin between what you earn and what you let quietly slip away. And that gap is not won once, in some grand, dramatic gesture. It is won quietly, every single month, in the small decisions that nobody ever claps for. The Bank of England cannot fix that gap for you. The Chancellor certainly will not, but you can, starting with the very next direct debit you choose to cancel. So, open your banking app, find the first leak, and plug it. Your future self is already grateful.